When the band finished playing, they were held up for more. Sinatra was singing, Mozart they were singing. We kissed on the corner and danced through the night. The boys of the NYPD choir were singing "No Way Bay," and the bells were ringing out for Christmas Day.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, Christmas at sea, it's a strange one. I mean, for us that are drawn to the sea, I think we come to it because the sea is the closest you get to another world. You get this experience that you can't replicate on land, this community that you're dependent on each other, you're reliant on each other. The resources are limited and you have to work as a team. There's no option not to be a team. And so to put that environment with Christmas, which you normally have, you know, a vast amount of resources and lots of consumption and lots of people, it was such a contrast to the normal. And I think the crew, they wanted that. A lot of them, they sign up to get this experience. And I think for us, it was a really special day, especially listening to messages from home and realizing how far away we were. I'm Laura Hampton. I'm from Armagh in landlocked Northern Ireland. So I am the additionally qualified person on the UNICEF team, which means that I'm second in command to the skipper.
Two people hiding, everyone to the field.
You sold that as well.
Yeah, quite a busy Christmas Eve. Always a palaver.
Coming out of the water.
Come on, guys.
This is the best Christmas I ever had in my whole life. What can you imagine? South Atlantic, Southern Ocean, Christmas Eve, dark, raining, a wrapped spinnaker, lot of nice friendly people all working together. This can't be better!
That's the end.
The Clipper race is a race of 11 boats that set out to go around the world for 11 months. We set off in the UK and we go all around the world, east ways, and 11 months later we're back.
The race is 40,000 miles, split up into 14 separate races.
They're sailed by non-professionals, people from all walks of life, some with previous sailing experience, some with not. There's 2 professional sailors on board to make sure that everything runs smoothly and safely.
That's the beauty of Clipper. They've created this system of crossing the toughest oceans of the world safer.
It really isn't a cruise, it's working all day, every day, from when we leave to when we arrive. They'll be short of sleep, they'll be tired, they'll be wet, they'll be cold, they'll be uncomfortable and they'll be loving every minute of it.
It brings out the best in people. It really starts to teach you about yourself.
I think a lot of people, when they start off, really have no idea what they're undertaking.
I think that realization that once the boat has sailed, you cannot pull out.
Every single one of them is looking for an adventure in their own right, and every single one of them will get it as well.
It offers people that opportunity to do it as safely as possible, you know, and to really sort of push themselves and to sort of go to places on the planet that you would never get to.
There are definitely moments when you are out there and you're asking, why am I doing this?
That's what people want. That's why people have signed up for it. They haven't signed up for champagne sailing.
You know, professional or non-professional, the same conditions are waiting for you out there. Something that you can't quite understand till you're there, just what it's like.
At some points in this race, we're closer to the people in the International Space Station than we are to anyone else on the planet.
Helicopter rescue is not a feasible option. We just can't get medical help out there.
The sea is still just as dangerous as it's ever been. And you're going to have to learn to live with and respect it, because it doesn't give a damn about you.
Oh, my name is Hans Ibrel. I'm from Sweden, Stockholm. I've been working all my life, and I've always been looking forward to do something like this. It's always been a dream to sail around the world. But as you grow up, you start to get married, get children, get all this commitment. And I saw for about 2-3 years ago that it's going to be a window, and the window is here right now. Yeah, I thought it was going to be easy, but I said goodbye to my family for 1 year. And the first leg was not really a problem, but then you start to miss them.
God jul pappa! Vi saknar dig jättemycket.
It was really emotional to see that when I sit in the Southern Ocean and then see your daughters on the video. It was really nice. It means very much to all of us, I think, especially to me, to know that they are following me at sea and to see that they care. And it's really emotional, especially when you're on the other side of the globe.
This is our emergency roll call. We're going to be doing it a lot on the race, so let's get nice and slick.
1, 2, 3.
I'm Dan Bodie and I'm the skipper of the team UNICEF. So the race is going great so far. We had a podium on the first race, we came third. Since then we've kind of been mid-fleet, we've had an 8th and a couple of 5ths. But we've been competing with the top boats. The fleet's really tight, so a 5th place is still really good. Like, it's a couple of hours between the lead boats. One bad tactical decision and you're out at the front running, so really happy.
From the outset of our campaign, Dan has led the team that we're a team, we're going to sail safe and we're going to sail fast, and the rest will come. And I think that's very much been our ethos. We work hard, we sail hard, but at the end of the day, there's a vast amount of expectations on the boat. So for some people, they come and they just want to cross an ocean, they want to experience sailing. For some, they've been on for a couple of legs, they're getting really into it, and they want to push the boat. And so balancing those dynamics is sometimes tricky. And so for us, that's our motto, is sail safe and sail fast, and what comes will come.
So I'm George Coldham. I'm from the northwest of England in the Lake District, and I was a software consultant before deciding to sail around the world. I've wanted to sail around the world in some kind of capacity since I was 12, 13 years old. For some reason I wrote something like along the lines of a bucket list, things I wanted to do. And sailing around the world was one of them. And Clipper, when I first found it, became the way to do that. We're sort of middle of the fleet, which is good, but a little bit frustrating. You obviously always want more. I am competitive. I am someone who, when there's a competition there, I do want to do well in it. To be mid-fleet is great, but also, yeah, I want more.
So we've got about 20 minutes before lines start to be slipped. And remember to be kind even when you're feeling not necessarily very charitable. We're all giving 110%, but my 10% is different to your 110%. So remember that. If someone's struggling, try and give them a bit of support. We don't know what's going on in their heads. You might be having a great day, but they might not be. So just be aware, yeah? Fantastic. We're in Fremantle about to start race 5. That is Fremantle, Australia to Newcastle, Australia. It's roughly 2,500 miles around the south of Tasmania. This race actually goes quite a long way south, partially because we go south of Tasmania. We have a lower limit of 45 degrees south.
Our ice limiting latitude is put in by the race office as part of the course instructions. So if we infringe on that line, then we'll get a 6-hour time penalty. So I joke with the crew that if we go over the line, that we're going to hit a big sheet of ice.
Yeah, so no, it's not an easier leg than the others. Some people might think so because you're close to land for some of it. But because we do go all the way south, we're still entering the roaring 40s. We're still experiencing that cold weather. We're still experiencing the big storms. Hey, slip out, please!
Have a great one, guys.
Have a good race, guys.
I like it, I like it, I like it, I like it, la la la.
Excited?
So excited for Christmas.
We are just leaving Fremantle, we've just slipped lines. We're about to sail from Fremantle all the way around South Tasmania, probably going to the most southern point of the race, up to Newcastle.
Please guys! Just had a fantastic start. We're looking really well placed on the fleet. We're just about to round our first course mark, and then we're out into the Indian Ocean and then south around Tasmania. So hopefully in like 14 days time we'll be in Newcastle.
It's definitely all to play for, and a pretty exciting start to the race. Probably the most exciting we've had yet. So the last 24 hours have been pretty gnarly. We had 40 knots on the nose, which meant that we were beating up wind. So we went straight into life at 45 degrees. It was pretty tough for the crew. Moving around the boat was hard, and we had quite a lot of seasickness, but we sort of seem to be through it now.
We're heading south. The only way to find wind here, because the wind hole is South Australia. So down to South 45 and try the wind.
So we dive south so quickly because we're trying to get into better wind, into better weather to allow us to go east to the finish. Now on the start of this race, the wind was kind of blowing from the east, which meant that we couldn't go east. We couldn't go in the direction we wanted to for a shortest distance. We made the decision to dive south and just keep going till we got to pretty much the southern limit, and then to just kind of bounce along that.
It's much nicer cruising along now. We've got sunset. The boat's flattened out, so we're not slamming down the waves anymore. But fingers crossed we keep enough wind to get through, because wind holes are what's next on the agenda. So straight from 40 knots into wind holes is what's forecasted at the minute.
Oh, we might have to start again.
This branch is now delegated as the retainer.
All right, ready? Everybody ready? Got it figured out? Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
No, yeah, no, we didn't do
Hi everybody, we are here on CB26. It is Christmas Eve, and we're now sitting in a wind hole halfway across the Great Australian Bight. We've sailed round Cape Lewin, one of the 5 great capes that all sailors want to cross around, and we are about halfway between there and Tasmania. I'm Mike Miller, and I'm the skipper of PSP Logistics in the Clipper Around the World race. This is my 3rd Clipper race. On the 17-18 race, I signed up as crew. I joined the crew like everyone else, did all 8 legs, started in Liverpool, finished in Liverpool, but was so taken by the experience and how much it had changed me that I knew that my life needed to take a different direction. This was my life now. Most of the other boats went south. They pushed really far south, right down, and to try and find some wind close to our southern ice limit. So it seems like you're going in the wrong direction by going south. Looking back on it now, I didn't commit quite as hard as I might have done to that, and I think that's probably a mistake that I made. We didn't get deep south quickly enough, and so 3 or 4 or 5 of the boats managed to get slightly ahead of us, which was a little bit frustrating. Dealing with that mid-table performance, particularly when the leaders are a long way ahead, that challenge of maintaining crew morale through that, when they see that situation unfolding, maintaining crew morale through that is a proper leadership challenge. The skippering style has to be different. I mean, you do have to be a headmaster at times, when everyone's sitting there, sitting there in a grump, feeling cold, feeling miserable.
Running low on the borderlines, and you tell me that you're doing fine.
Everybody's here for the same reasons. We are here for ocean racing at the end of the day. It's a big adventure, but It's an ocean race.
Pulls you right on through the door.
I'm very competitive, and at the beginning I was really looking forward to just race around the world. I had a few low moments, especially when we are under heavy load of hard work on boat and we go upwind for a long time.
Come with me, I'll take you there, I'll take you.
It's a proper challenge to get everyone together and remind each other and find a way not to just sit at the front of the meeting and make sort of Henry V type speeches, but actually really get into people's hearts. They have committed to a sailboat race out in the middle of the ocean. They haven't committed to a holiday on the shore. The old cliche is always true. The more you put in, the more you get out.
Talk is cheaper, we're wasting time. So hold on to all that feeds your soul.
The more you look at the birds, the more you look for the whales, the more you marvel at the stars and the sun and the sky and the ocean, and the fact that we were able to have an amazing Christmas party in the middle of nowhere. When people think about it, they take it in and they suddenly say, actually, you can sort of see their attitude changing. And it happens almost sort of one person at a time. It's very infectious and it really starts to grow, and then suddenly everyone's coming to me saying, Mike, what can we do better? How can we enjoy this more? What can we be doing? That's when you sit back and say, this is a team that I'm proud of.
The nice thing about it is that everybody would help each other. We will all help each other and get the best out of each other and support each other on the boat, because this is what the Clipper Race is about. Is the people you meet, the incredible things you see along the way, and that's what really makes the Clipper Race so special, I think.
Today we've had quite a nice day. We saw some dolphins earlier, but the really exciting thing is we've got Dare to Lead about 3.5 to 4 miles in front of us. We can see them. They came past us last night. They had a spinnaker up and we didn't, so when the sun came up we decided to match them and put up our code 3 as well, and since then the positions have been relatively stable. From there till Tasmania it was mainly about how you sail the boat. The winds were pretty set, it was consistent for several days of very similar wind speeds, very similar wind direction, and it was just a pure drag race between everyone.
So the wind has been building overnight. We took our code 3 spinnaker down and we're just on our Yankee now. We're storming along. We've had up to 40 knots of wind. At the minute we've got 30 knots. This morning, Faster hit 21 knots on a serve.
They did gain a lot of miles on us, but I felt like, and our crews felt like at the time, that we weren't at the skill level to be able to handle the kites in those conditions for that period of time. To do it for 3 days solid, we decided it wasn't going to be happening, so we just took a slightly more conservative approach. Let's just calm everything down a bit, go a little bit slower, but we're not going to be damaging ourselves, and we'll wait for the conditions to get a little bit nicer.
So this afternoon we've got some squally weather coming in, we've got clouds and rain and potentially some winds.
I think how competitive we are is an extension of Dan's mentality. Dan's obviously got experience in the race prior to this race, and he sort of carried that mentality through, which is if you look after the boat, it'll look after you. You know, we've seen it a few times where we've lost positions or we've lost distance to people because we've not flown a kite overnight in, you know, temperamental conditions.
So we're protecting our 4th place, we're just not risking anything.
We've had a few people that have got very frustrated with, you know, being overtaken or it pushing to the very limit of the boat. Dan's always very good at sort of talking people down from that position to, there's more than just this race.
Dan, I'm really impressed about his strategic, tactical and sailing capability. Really amazing. You know, a person I can trust in any weather, whatever comes on. He's really, really calm, really, really cool in all perspective.
At the end of the day, there's a vast amount of expectations on the boat. So for some people, they come and they just want to cross an ocean, they want to experience sailing. For some, they've been on for a couple of legs, they're getting really into it and they want to push the boat. And so balancing those dynamics is sometimes tricky. And so for us, that's our motto, is sail safe and sail fast, and what comes will come. And
it's the risk versus reward on the racing, but from a safety side of things, if it is on that marginal line and you've only got maybe 1 or 2 crew members that can cope with those conditions, from a helming perspective, if we're turning around and being really restrictive because we're pushing a sail plan, then that means that some people are going to maybe not get the same experience that they want out of it. So it's a tough balance between pushing the boats really hard because you want to come first, but also giving everyone a fair experience and giving them all opportunity to be able to helm the boats in these different conditions.
We are playing for overall position. We're not playing for an individual race, but we're not going to blow everything up just to win one race at the cost of around the world.
I don't regret it at all for our crews, and our skill level, it wasn't really feasible for that length of time. So we flew the same sails as them some days and we didn't others, and that's just the way it works.
This is the furthest south we will be ever in the Clipper race, unless something goes really wrong. So we can wave goodbye to 45 south, and this kind of is momentous for those of us going around the world.
We've done all of this and all of that.
Yeah.
Just got to the bottom of Tasmania, in that part of the country, and we're now rounding the bottom course marks and starting our track north. So we've been to the southernmost point we'll ever be on this race, and now we're just heading up north for the next couple of days to get to Newcastle.
Ready, 1, 2, 3. Great, that's when you're supposed to blow the little whistles.
We're right in the middle of our New Year's Eve party on PSP Logistics. It is almost completely calm as we are just north of Tasmania in the famously rough Bass Strait, utterly becalmed.
Oh my God.
The perfect thing to do in a wind hole.
New Year's Eve, and we got the wonderful job of galley duty, so we're going full out. We did a nice simple lunch, but we are now making sliders. So we're going to make dough and make our buns here. Then we're going to have a chocolate cake with that. Full out, everybody's got to have some fun. Unfortunately, we're in a wind hole, but this will keep us happy until we get out.
3, 2, 1.
We are charging up the Australian coast. We've just gone past the bottom of Australia, past Cape Howe. We're about to enter some really positive current, which will shoot us hopefully towards our destination in the next 48 hours or so. But obviously this is sailboat racing, so who knows? But we're working like crazy to get there before too long.
We're coming up to the East Australian current, which is pretty much like the fast lane in the airport. And we're hoping that as we shoot up here, our speed's going to rocket and we'll send the last 296 miles to Newcastle.
So we round Tasmania, and then as we start heading north up the coast of Australia, we encounter the East Australian current, which is a south running current that runs down the coast, and it runs at about 3.5 to 4 knots in places. So that's a really big tactical decision because you don't want to be sailing into 3 to 4 knots of current that's pushing you the way you've just come from. So the decisions we have are, do we go inshore of it, which is quite narrow.
So we're currently making a big decision on whether we hold course and stick with the northeasterly winds, or we tack out because there's a south going current inland. So the minute that's our big decision, and it's probably the last decision we're going to have to make for 87 miles, and it could be the difference between 3rd place or 4th or 5th.
So we have right now, we are heading here up to Newcastle. We have 40 nautical miles left. Becasela is about 4 nautical miles ahead. So we are beating for the 4th place right now. And hopefully we'll get it. We will get it. We are better boats. We are better sailors.
Okay, we're arriving into Newcastle. Finish line is just there. Everyone's celebrating, ready to celebrate.
We're in Fremantle.
We're in Newcastle. Don't you start.
Newcastle, yeah! Woo, made it! Beautiful race.
We've just finished Race 5 from Fremantle to Newcastle. It's been one of our strongest performances yet as a team. Wasn't quite reflected in our end result with a 5th, but hopefully we can keep improving on that for the future.
We finally finished the race in 8th place. If you think about, the tactical decisions that, I knew leaving Fremantle, go hard, get south fast, but I didn't do it. Not actually using the lessons and the knowledge that I have is probably the thing that I need to work out how to use most. Like any sports coach is going to say, there's positives here, we're going to take positives out of this. Yeah, lots to build on. Yeah, we're learning our lesson.
A few times I thought to quit the race, but the crew kept me going. We are out there all together. We are one team, and it's incredible. Really, I'm so proud of our team, and I'm proud of the fact that they kept me going all the time.
Yeah, and there was times out there where you're thinking, can I manage it? Can I continue? Should I break? Should I go home? And then you get this extra heartbeat of the feeling that you have really achieved it. And that feeling no one can take away from you.
So we're currently in Newcastle, Australia, 17,500 miles already into the race, so it feels like we're halfway, and we're almost the furthest we can to Portsmouth to the race start and the race finish. So, and we're currently first overall with data lead, so it's going very well. There's a good atmosphere on the boat. We have a really good team. Everyone gels, even when we're at the stopovers. They're together, hanging out, enjoying the sightseeing and doing everything together. So it's amazing. I feel like we could be a favourite just with what I understand about the race, and I think it's ours to lose in a way, if that's not trying to be overconfident or anything. It just feels really good. So
a lot of round the world sailing already done. We've had 5 races with mixed results. We are in 2nd position on the leaderboard, behind Dare to Lead. 8 points, which is a little bit of a gap, but doable.
So roughly halfway in the race, and we're currently sitting 3rd on the leaderboard. I never sort of set it as my goal. I always wanted to be towards the top end of the fleet, but we've been doing well recently. Yeah, there's no other way to put it. Like, it's been sort of 3 podiums in a row. First place has eluded us so far. We're the only boat to have beaten everybody in the fleet but not come first.
So we are halfway through the circumnavigation now, and Halon Bay has had some ups and downs. A slow starter, I think would be fair to say. The one thing I wasn't prepared for as a match as I could be was the difficulty of forming a crew. It took a lot of hard work and a lot of talking to themselves to see why we weren't performing well and why the boat wasn't performing well. And it was no individual error. It was they were working as individuals, not as a crew, and that was really hindering us. So we had a few intervention meetings and try and discuss what problems I could see and how are we going to be a better boat and a faster boat. And in the end, after coming stone last on the first race and second last in the next 2 races, the result is it's translated into 2 wins from the last 2 races. And incredibly, we're now 4th on the overall leaderboard.
We went through many challenges. We had some really bad results in these last 2 legs, which after winning into my home port, now I dropped from place number 1 to 2 to 3, and now I'm sitting in 5th. Doesn't feel amazing, but it's the reality now. In leg 1, I overpushed myself without sleeping and pushed myself beyond the human limits. Meant winning to my hometown, breaking a 12-year course in Clipper, a boat winning into their hometown. And for myself, capitalizing one of the biggest dreams I could have, you know, as I said before, something enormous. And I don't regret at all about that. And yeah, after that has been a turn in fortunes. We've had some breakages at sea caused by our mistakes, and because of that, we have finished the last few races at the back of the fleet, and that doesn't feel great.
You know, it's hard not to feel like you failed, even though you've done an amazing thing that hardly anyone does. You know, it's an incredibly difficult achievement just on its own, just to sail that kind of distance on any boat. But you want to just get away from it. And the problem is, like, if you do that, you know, the problems that you come in with, they're all still there, you know, when you leave. Like, you have to tackle them in the stopover.
When you're going, you want to do well. First of all, it makes people feel good if they do well. You get a positive vibe from it, even if you're not that racy. But it also means you get to stop over earlier, you get to enjoy it, you get to recharge a bit better and be ready again for the next one. So it can be quite hard if you're always towards the back, is that you feel that you're always kind of chasing everybody else and not getting the time to catch up, and that can be draining.
It's tough being at the back. That's a real test. That's a real test of leadership and of your crew's kind of resilience. If you're up there competing for sort of, you know, in the top 5 really, if you're in that top 5 sort of bracket, you know, your crew are like, right, let's go, because there's always that chance that you can do better and be in the top sort of 3.
So good luck, look after yourselves, we'll look after each other and have a really safe one, okay? And can't wait to see you in Airlie. We'll have our skipper's dinner and drinks, and we'll have hopefully a nice easy time in Airlie, okay? Yeah. As hot as it is. All right, good luck everybody, thanks.
Thank you. Cheers.
All the best, good luck.
James, have a good one.
Thank you, cheers for everything.
We're about to start race 6 from Newcastle, Australia, up to Airlie Beach in the Whitsunday. So it's a short race, only 5 days or so, but it is, you know, the sort of length of time shouldn't fool you. It's a very tricky stage of the race. We've got, going north, we have the East Australia current still, which is a massive factor. Lots and lots of sort of south-going current there. And then you've got the Barrier Reef. We sail between the mainland and the Barrier Reef. So we've got set gates to go through to try and keep us away from the worst of it, but ice for that one. So it's a serious race, this one. You know, it's not just a little cruise to get somewhere. You know, everyone's going to be vying to be in those top spaces to get as many points as they can. You know.
Charlie Victor, 2-2, slip lines.
Set up fender forward.
Grind, guys, let's go.
It's crowded, it's crazy here.
The start out of Newcastle was exciting. The race officer sort of set the line. Everyone was quite nervous straight away. Very small area to have that many boats. At the same time, it is incredibly exciting. You know, like super close quarters. The crew love it. You know, and it was a lot of fun.
A little bit stressful for me and Mike, but no, it's cool. It's great having all the boats around each other.
Actually, to be honest, for a little while after, once we got out of the breakwater, we were all tacking upwind and we were all crossing each other's sort of bows, like just meters away, and that was quite fun. Again, like not something you really get to do most of the time out in the ocean, so the crew loved it.
Oh, let's do another one! Please hit!
So it's day 2. We had a lovely sunny morning. You probably can't tell from what's happening now, but it was sunny, I promise. And now we have this. Bit of a rain, or a bit of a shower, freshwater shower.
Yes, so starting off in Newcastle, obviously like heading north, we had the East Australian current to contend with, still a lot of it going the other way, and that made for some really big sort of tactical decisions. It's like almost putting a big barrier right down the middle of the racetrack and sort of asking the boats to split one way or the other. You get sort of like a thermal picture of the current, because the current is warmer than the seawater around it, so you can almost see it quite clearly. When the decision time was sort of looming, me and Mike, my AQP, we discussed it for a long time. We both sort of individually looked at it, and then we sort of came together and talked about what we thought. We both came up with the conclusion that all of the sort of data, all of the information we had at that point there, suggested to go inshore.
No, we definitely need to get inshore.
Yeah, so I think only 2 hours of this should get us up here. But at the same time, we wanted to put it to the crew, and it's important when you make a big decision like that could go really well or really badly, that they understand that and they understand the consequences. This is the East Australian current running down the coast. All the rest of the fleet are all heading out wide. Okay, we're coming first, all right, which is very good, well done. Like I said, everything on paper is suggesting that's the smart one to go for. But I would be lying if I said I was completely comfortable with picking that way. But yes, we had a big team meeting and put it to the group, and they all, bar one, voted to go inshore. Who wants to go out wide? Right. So me and Mike both think this way too, okay? So let's go for it, guys, okay? So it will be do or die with this, basically, okay? And we got to accept that. Sort of decided that actually we'd had enough goes at coming first, and I sort of said that if this works, then we'll come first by a long way, but if it doesn't, then we'll come last. And yeah, exactly. We've come second and third plenty now. Let's try and come first. So we made the decision, and we were quite lucky. It was a bit like everything just kind of lined up. The current wasn't quite as strong as we thought it was going to be. The wind was stronger. We had a good angle. Yeah, and the crew sailed it phenomenally well. People sort of asking, how much of it is tactics, how much of it is sailing, how much is luck, and it's all three. Doing well though, guys, doing well on the other boats. All right, second place is 40 miles behind us at the moment. Okay. Luckily we just for this race, they all seemed to slot into place and we came out with a really big lead, which was, not what we were expecting, to be honest. Thought it was gonna be a lot tighter than that. Strategy at the moment, it's worked quite well so far going inshore. When we were starting to go through the gates, there was a feeling of like we've got it as long as we don't do something bad. It was more that we were more nervous about having a navigational problem going through the reef, because we're still pushing quite hard. It's been because we went through all of the narrow sort of pinch points in the coral at night.
Got the last gate in 10 miles time, and then it's sort of 90 miles to the finish, so really happy. And we are 78 miles ahead of second place.
So really, really proud of the guys.
So it was a really exciting night, but it was quite tense.
Yeah, good. We just had a flying fish land basically in the pudding bowl, which is exciting. Ah! Oh no!
We only really breathed a sigh of relief when we were through the gates, and we were sort of like, right, this is it, we've done it. And we've just begun our sort of final approach into the finish line, and yeah, we're coming first. So yeah, I think with 10 miles to go, I think we've won.
We're arriving at Airlie Beach. We are the first to arrive. Wow, this is so exciting. What a way to finish halfway around the world.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1!
We came first. We won one. So many podiums, we finally got in first place. Stoked.
Oh, we won! First place! I mean, after 6 races, 4 legs, this is such a nice way to really finish midpoint. Halfway around the world, and then we got here. And then such a brilliant team as well. I can't describe it. So happy to be here!
Oh yeah, yeah, I never won a clipper race before. It was a really big thing for me to finally win one.
Oh, just no longer.
What I really want to hear is whether they're going to do anything to shorten the race, speed it up or anything like that.
Are you enjoying Airlie Beach? Very cool. Well, I say a very cool place. It's really hot, isn't it? But it's a very beautiful place as well. This is the reason why we are having a briefing today, and you're not leaving tomorrow, as you all probably know. So we knew it was there. We were watching it for days and days and days, getting information from all of our various weather models and our experts in the UK as well to help with decisions. We've got an enforced delay, and I don't know how you guys feel about that enforced delay. I think it's definitely the right decision from a safety perspective.
Feeling a little overwhelmed. The detail of the exit plan to the Le Mans start, and then the route, and then coming into Halong Bay, and all the weather patterns and sort of predictions, particularly at the moment when we're dealing with such difficult weather conditions. So my name is Sarah Nelson. I am from the UK, but I live in Vietnam, and I am on the Halong Bay boat. So I'm doing leg 5 and leg 6. So from here to Seattle. So nervous, you know, on the plane. You're kind of going by yourself. But then once we arrived, and I went down to the boat before registration and just said hello to everyone. And then suddenly it's like, okay, we're all right. Everyone's here. Everyone's so nice. Like, around the world is obviously bringing all of their experience with them, and so immediately very helpful. Yeah, it's suddenly, just that anxiety of coming out is a bit more at ease now.
One of the interesting aspects of the whole Clipper race is that people can sign up for different parts of the race. So every team across the fleet is going to have turnover and going to get new people on board. And it does take a lot of energy to get these people up to speed. But the flip side of that is you get a lot of good new energy on board. People that still love everything and want to throw all their energy at it, and they want to learn, and they're super motivated.
I am Sonja Hamhuis, and I'm from Utrecht in the Netherlands. In my day-to-day life, I'm a researcher and I'm a musicologist. And I'm an ambassador for Team Perseverance, about to start leg 5 of the Clipper race to Halong Bay. The Perseverance team is affiliated with the Prinses Maxima Center for Pediatric Oncology, and the ambassador program invites people who have personal experiences with and maybe give some color to the word perseverance, what it means. And the amazing work of the Prinses Maxima Center is that they help people like myself to really already start working on that process earlier on, so that you don't have to go through it in your 20s, but after you heal, hopefully, physically, they also look at quality of life. Don't necessarily have to become your disease, so scars that I have will show you where I have been, but they don't necessarily determine where I'm going next. And that's something I think all of us really want to show and emphasize by being an ambassador here.
So we ended up leaving Airlie Beach a little bit late because of the cyclone that came through. We actually were delayed by 4 days. The cyclone came through as we were still on shore. It was quite windy. Probably a good thing we weren't at sea.
That's our 1 minute warning on the radio. So yeah, let's start this adventure. The next race from Airlie Beach to Halong Bay is 6,500 miles. Yeah, it's going to be a long old race. We got 28 days in searing heat, lots of humidity, and a lot of commercial fishing vessels as we get nearer to Halong.
We've done it! We have finally left Airlie Beach.
Personally, very nervous. I always get nervous on race starts. We have them on starts because it's a remote start. So if we look at Airlie Beach, for example, we've got the Great Barrier Reef. Trying to sail through that would be quite treacherous. You know, there's navigational hazards everywhere. For the safety of the fleet and for the efficiency of the race, what we do, we actually motor beyond the reef, and then once we get outside there, we're given a virtual mark, and then the lead skipper, in this case it was Ryan on Dare to Lead, in getting all 11 boats in radio contact, and then he'll put us in a line that's been predetermined in order, and at 4 minutes, all the crew must be behind the coffee pedestal, and then at 1 minute, engines off, and then he'll call start.
5, 4, 3, 2... Karamavu, go! Laura, big ease, Laura! Come on, John!
Something on deck now, so that just getting that first sort of winch handling, rope handling out of the way, starting to feel more confident, and we've now got our watches and everyone's, yeah, it's good. We're getting started.
It's just a hunker down now, 4,500 miles. Can everyone hydrate, maintain sun cream, maintain energies, and we'll go from there.
So it's the end of the first day. We've run 115 miles so far, and we're in front. We're first position. This is the kind of layout of the pack. You can see us, CV23, that's Perseverance in front.
So the boats that stick further east manage to get north quicker, and that is the conventional wisdom on this particular race. The quickest you get north, the quickest you're going to get into the trade winds. So for every mile we were moving over to the west, others were getting north quicker, and there was a risk in that. The weather forecast showed that we still would have wind. It would just take us a little bit longer to get to the stronger winds.
Okay, steadily, go. We need everybody to go below the wake. Up on deck. Yeah, confirm you're ready for me.
A little bit of an event here on board. We've been cruising along nicely, basically since the start. Not much had happened, and all of a sudden the squall hits us. Wind shoots up, the direction changes, and we broach with our kite up. And in the broach, our steering broke. So the person on the helm was like, this isn't working anymore. So we quickly got all hands on deck, dropped the kite while I took the helm on the other side, and our engineer dove down in the last, started preparing. It took us about an hour to get the steering going again. We're all good now, and we're now getting ready to hoist to code 3.
At one point, a girl on the helm said, "Oh, look at that, that looks cool." And I look and I was like, "Oh no, that's not cool." And in the beginning, we were like, "Okay, interesting." And then I was like, "It's coming at us. We need to get out of here."
I think there's such a sensory overload in that moment that you're trying to process what's happening right in front of you, and then you are really focused, or I am, and listening to what our skipper and all the other people calling the shots in that moment, what they are saying. So I'm really focused on what I'm seeing in front of me and what I'm hearing in terms of what do we have to do, and then everything else just kind of passed me, I suppose.
So we motored away from, or sideways, sawing that it was tracking that way. I motored that way. And we waited it out a bit, and then it kind of curved around, and it ended up sticking for quite a while at the original place where we had turned on the engine. They were like, "Oh, it's a good thing we moved." When it moved on, we curled back to where we'd turned on the engine, turned off the engine and started sailing again. And like the racing rules state, we then declared it to the race office with all the coordinates, how long we motored for, and that we came back to the exact same point. Cost us 3 places at the time. So that's an acceptable thing to do and a safety measure. So.
We're just moving now to about 5 knots at a course of 290, which is really good. And in 8 miles north, we get to the Equator. So we so offshore Neptune will make an appearance, and we'll a couple of speeches will be made, and we'll invite the polywalks to be shellbacks.
Day 8, and we have, it's very calm and a bit surreal, I think. We think it's how I imagined the Equator crossing to be, a bit slow. I'm big excited, but I'm excited for what's coming up in about 4 miles.
You were not careful with boat property, and you lost the lid of the stocks bucket. How do you plead?
Oh, guilty.
Hey!
We find ourselves towards the back of the front pack, unfortunately. At our 12 o'clock position report, so it's got us currently in 6th place. I'll let you get a picture of that. Try and keep the boat going fast, try and keep the speed up, and last night we had a big old squall come over, and again unfortunately another big wind hole. So it's not been our best 48 hours sailing.
What's your favorite time on board?
This time, maybe 5, 6 a.m. in the morning when the sun's coming up. And then when you're on the afternoon, the sunset shift as well. Yeah, really, the colours.
Another wonderful day, beautiful sunset. Now we're heading basically a bit more north to get to the Luzon Strait. It's a bit of an in-between day, it almost seems. We have to round the mark in the Luzon Strait, and then we're on to the home stretch, which is in the South China Sea.
So we're on the 7 to 11 shifts tonight, and every time we have different duties. Tonight me and Dan are on cleaning duty, which means we're cleaning the heads. We have different names here for everything. Heads basically means toilets and anything surrounding it. Fascinating how quickly you get used to living on a boat in this community, separated from everything and everyone else. So it was wonderful to see how quickly you get used to living in that community, but also stuff got progressively easier the longer we were on the boat. So I was very nervous initially to be joining, but what I found from the first day we met, this was still offshore in Airlie Beach, was that all the people who were doing around the world were very welcoming, and they were happy to have us on board, willing to share their experiences. Here I am, such a newbie. I only trained for 4 weeks in Gosport. So they have all this knowledge and experience, and in some cases maybe more physical strength, you know, to do the heavy work. But what I found here is that it's much more about the kind of mindset you have. One of the biggest learning experiences for me was helming, actually. I find it kind of terrifying. I don't like driving back home. I don't like anything to do with it. And it's, I think it's because you carry quite a big responsibility as well. And especially with the spinnaker up, there's lots of stuff that can go wrong. It's quite terrifying, to be honest, and I'm really scared of making mistakes. The crew kept pushing me to get behind the helm, just saying, if only it's for 5 minutes, just give it a go. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
I see it in your eyes, the hesitation. You can't let fear survive. The world needs saving, so push your doubts aside.
I feel like for once, I was sat there on the boat a few times and I thought, I actually might be able to now say that I have value without really accomplishing anything at all in the moment. And I feel like a lot of people who went through what I went through feel like they have to really prove their worth, or really prove that they have a right to still exist, or really feel a very strong urgency to live, you know, to make the most out of the life they were given, or the second chance they were given at life. And that puts a really high pressure on yourself sometimes.
Steady on till you scare the fear away. You're only getting braver, you're only getting braver.
But sometimes you're adding value just by being there. You don't really have to come in first all the time or be the best at anything right off the bat. And that's something I hope that I'll show. And I also hope it shows people, you know, just take a leap sometimes and you're able to recover in ways you didn't expect. Yeah.
You're only getting braver, you're only getting braver.
Looking for fishing nets. The last watch passed about 11 or 12 of them during their watch, and they spread out in a line. They have white buoys with flags on them, a big line of them, so we just have to be careful not to go too close to any of the buoys.
We saw some fishing nets on our port side and we avoided them quite easily, but unfortunately there were some unmarked ones right under us. We heard a noise and suddenly we were sniped by a fishing net. So that meant all hands on deck, and luckily the fishing net actually came free, so we didn't have to go free from under the boat. So it's actually perfect timing because wind's about set to build, and that's going to give us a great run into Halong Bay.
With 5 miles to go, so we have good hope that we're close to finishing. We'll be coming across the line in 4th.
In Airlie Beach, I thought I would be happy about being at this point where I kind of accomplished this. And now that I'm here in Halong Bay, I feel so differently about that. And my mom asked me, if you were able to do another leg, would you? And when I was in Airlie Beach, that would have been a hard no, a very hard no. And now it would be a very convinced yes, because I really enjoyed this so much more than I ever thought I would.
We came in 4th, Dare to Lead didn't have their best race day, and they came in 10th. That does mean that we're now back in the #1 position on the leaderboard. It's Fremantle, I think.
On race 7 we came 5th, so we finally got a mid-pack finish. I will bask in our mediocrity because it's just nice to become middle of the pack.
Are we going to see another tattoo?
We might see another tattoo because it would kind of fit. I got this one. I got it when I was when my body physically healed from the cancer when I was about 18.
So what are you waiting for?
And then I got a second one once I mentally kind of healed, which is only about a year ago.
Oh, what are you waiting for?
And I would think there's space for a third one, because this has been my third part of healing and maybe the last bit I kind of needed.
I feel a little unsafe on the surface.
But I know there will be an additional tattoo. I don't know what it will look like yet, but I know it will be there.
I feel a little unstable in all this. So what are you waiting for? Oh, what are you waiting for? So just tell me when, even if friends, I miss the beginning, 'cause it feels like the end. I know maybe this life just weren't meant for us. With that said,